Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and today I want to talk about how to develop your routine to learn English well, to develop your routine to learn English from scratch. Well, you all know that I love to talk about how to learn English. I love to talk about how to practice your listening, how to practice your speaking, how to practice your writing and reading. And basically, I love to talk about how to improve your speaking. And speaking comes from listening. So before you started to speak English, before you started conversation with other people, you need to know how to practice your listening. You need to know how to choose your listening materials. So today we're going to talk about how to help you to develop your listening routine. Yeah, develop a listening habit throughout daily life. Have a habit, have a routine in your everyday life. It's better than practice every day and don't know where you're going, and you just have no idea how big impact a routine will have. So without further ado, let's get started. I think when I talk about how to learn English, I would suggest you to learn it from scratch. You need to pretend that you have never learned English before. You haven't learned English before, you haven't heard it before. You have no idea what this language sounds like. So in this point, maybe a lot of people may say, well, I don't have to pretend. I don't learn English. I haven't learned English ever. You know, when we were at school, when teachers were speaking English to us, I just completely out of it. I wasn't listening to it. I didn't focus on learning English. So when I decided to learn English again after graduation, I need to start it from scratch. And in my last video, I actually said if you want to start it from scratch, that means you need to pretend that you haven't learned it before. But sometimes start it from scratch, what does it mean? How to learn English from scratch? Well, I myself started to learn Korean nowadays, and I have to say learning a language from scratch after you reach 18 years old, after you already an adolescent, it's really difficult. It's not because you don't want to listen to it. It's not because you don't want to learn it. It's just because you cannot hear it. Yes, a language is so new for you to learn that you cannot hear it. Your ear is just so out of control. Your ears is completely blank when it comes to absorb all those informations from the new languages. If I learned Korean, I always thought if I listened to it, if I had enough of time, had enough of energy to listen to one of the Korean TV shows over and over again, and I will understand what they're talking about. And I will understand what they are trying to tell me. But actually, it's not the case. The reality is, my ears cannot absorb the information. I'm not talking about you cannot understand the information. You can understand it because there's a Chinese translation version of subtitle down there in the bottom of the screen. What I'm saying is that your ears are so unfamiliar with what you're about to hear or what you are trying to hear right this moment. It's not going to help. They're not going to help you to pick up information. The sounds of this new language made in front of you are noises, are completely rubbish. You cannot distinguish the noise and the sounds and the voice. You cannot. You just cannot listen to them. You cannot hear them. For you, the language is just such a big chunk of rubbish. You don't want to listen to it, and no matter how many times you listen to it, you just feel completely lost, feel completely exhausted, because all those sounds are not familiar to you. So at this moment, I just have to suggest you go ahead and listen to whatever you want over and over again until you fully immerse yourself in learning this language, especially in English. English is very less easy to learn, and English is very fun to learn because people are having very beautiful accent when they are speaking in English. They have Australian accent, they have English accent, they have American accent, they have a Canadian accent, they have New Zealand accent. New Zealand accent, it's very weird. But you have to know that when you listen to English, you have to feel the English. You have to feel the language. You have to feel the texture of the language. You have to put yourself up there to make yourself immerse in this language. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to know what sort of information you have to grasp here. You just have to put yourself there and immerse in the language until the moment you feel like you can listen to the language, you can listen to materials over and over again without any thinking in your head that this language doesn't make any sense. You can listen to it as the most beautiful songs you love. You can listen to the language as a background music without any interpretation, without any thinking, without any extra thoughts. You love to listen to it. And the second thing I want you to know is that after you try so many times to listen to the same thing over and over again, you might think about start to speak. Yes, this is the crucial moment. How to speak, how to practice your speak in terms of learning a new language. Shadowing is the best method for you. Shadowing is very efficient to make you follow what you try to listen. Shadowing means that you need to repeat exactly the same sounds over and over again just after you listen to the sentences or the phrases. And I suggest you to start from very short sentences, from very little chit chat or something like that. The shorter the better. If you go ahead to learn long sentence, you'll feel so confused. What are they talking about? I know I can listen to it, I know I can understand it, but I cannot repeat it. The sentence is too long for me to follow. I cannot do it, I cannot repeat it. You have to choose a sentence that is short enough for you to repeat immediately after you hear it. For example, if I said a jump plane just crashed into the World Trade Center Tower, can you repeat after me? Let's try again. A jump plane just crashed into the World Trade Center Tower. Can you repeat after me? Well, probably you can't, and probably you can. But the problem is you have to practice over and over again in order to keep up with me. But the problem I'm talking about here is that if you started to learn English from scratch, you need to make sure that the things you learn is short enough for you to keep up, for you to reload a message in your own mind and reproduce it. Do an output through your mouth. If you cannot do it, that means the story or the sentence or the phrases are so long for you to learn. Start from scratch. Start from the very short sentence, very short phrases. For example, hello, how are you? How old are you? How's your day going? Still hanging there? Or maybe you might think, well, this sentence is very, very simple. I don't want to learn that sort of thing. We already learned that from school. I want to learn something very high-end, very academic. Well, you learned complicated words. Yes, if you really want to challenge yourself to learn something very difficult, very fantastic to learn, you need to choose the difficult words. Yes, if you go with sentence, the shorter the better. But if you go with the words, you want to remember the complicated words, you need to choose those difficult ones. For example, metamorphosis, rhetoric, or maybe something like infinite jest, All those things that make you feel like, whoa, okay, I could repeat instantly after I hear it. You have to make sure that everything that you practice will allow you to repeat immediately. If you can't, that means the whole shattering is completely collapsed, okay? And the third step, if you truly want to speak fluent English, like I do, if you truly want to speak and listening without any obstacles, without any difficulty, you have to make sure that you practice it every day. You practice speaking English to your camera, you practice speaking English to your friends, you practice speaking English to your relatives, or even you can teach English to your own mom. Yeah, I know that's a little bit ridiculous to say, but trust me, when we teach other people, we don't need to be Olympic champion. If we teach other people how to swim, we don't have to be really the winner of Olympics. We just have to be a little bit better than the students that we about to teach. We are the teacher, but we don't have to be the world champion. We just have to be the teacher. We just have to be a little bit better than the student. And that means if we know a little bit something more, that means if we know something more, that we have to, go ahead and teach other people, and that will reinforce us. And the teaching process will reinforce our ability to learn English, to learn something new, to improve our ability in order to teach more to other people. That's a responsibility between student and teacher. You have to make yourself feel the responsibility, feel the burden on your shoulder that you need to learn English. You need to have fun with it. You need to feel joy out of it. You cannot just force yourself to learn every day without any feeling towards it. If you force yourself too hard, you might think it's not worth it for you to learn. If it's not worth it for you to put so much energy and time to learn this specific language, because there's no result, no positive result that you can get to make you feel satisfied. You need to make yourself feel satisfied every day. That means you need to start learning from scratch, from something that you're familiar with, from something that you think, well, I don't know what they're talking about, but I'm willing to listen to them. I don't know what the heck they're talking about, but listen to their talking, listen to their way of speaking English, their accent, their pronunciation is such delightful experience for me. If you get that, you have a very good start. And the second thing, if you want to challenge yourself to remember difficult words, to remember something instantly, yes, you need to practice shattering. And shattering means choose the right material to practice. Choose the right sentence, the shorter, the better. Choose the difficult words. The difficulty is there for you to challenge yourself. And the third one, trust yourself. Practice every day. Practice like you have the responsibility to teach other people. Teach your parents. Make them your student. They were willing to cooperate with you because it's really not enough for parents to hang out with you after you reach your 18 years old or after you reach your 18 years birthday. They want to hang out with you. They want to learn with you. They want to hang out with you. They want to learn with you. They want to know something from you. You are their leader. You are their open-minded internet machine. They rely on you. So if you want to torture yourself, let's say, push yourself to learn English, to improve yourself, to make yourself feel better, you need to be a teacher. And teacher doesn't mean you need to be the worldwide champion. You just need to be slightly better than the student that you are about to teach. Okay? That's today's talk. Hope you like it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it useful. See you next time.